today we have the ambassador of Italy in the Monday agenda, His Excellency Roberto Makani. Tanzania has enjoyed for over 50 years a very good bilateral relationship with Italy. What do you account as one of the most successful achievements, or a number, 50 years plus is the number of achievements between Italy and Tanzania?
Avoid figures.
Yes.
Which usually ambassadors like to point out figures of investments and trade, which are good, of course, but I think that we should focus more on the people-to-people exchanges.
Okay.
Italians have been coming into Tanzania when Tanzania was just Tanganyika. We're talking about the first missionaries coming at the beginning of the 20th century.
Yes.
And then other organizations and volunteers coming up right after the independence. But I think that people-to-people exchange, because one of the most fascinating things about being an ambassador here in Tanzania is to meet people coming to Tanzania for different reasons. You have volunteers, you have doctors, elder people that would like to spend some time in Africa to do some voluntary work, young people, of course. And then you have business people, and they all fell in love with Tanzania, with the Tanzanian people. And whoever comes once tends to come a second time, and came the third time, and the fourth time we stay maybe 6 months, and then maybe forever.
Yes.
So this kind of exchange, this kind of interchange are incredibly valuable. And it's difficult to give a figure, it's difficult to give a number, but these are more valuable than anything else.
Anything else? Do they point out anything in particular that attracts them to come back? Maybe the hospitality of the Tanzanian people, or the tourist attraction. I believe they come mainly on tourism, other than volunteering, as you mentioned.
Yeah, but the first time you come as a tourist. To see Serengeti or to go to the beach or something. I think that what attracts a lot Italians are the kind of generosity and warmness of Tanzania, which is also something that I found very, very deeply touching into my heart. I mean, the fact that the continuous smile of people, the generosity even when they don't have much to offer, and the way you are welcome in the country, especially in the rural area, but everywhere, even in Dar es Salaam.
Okay.
I think that the education, but also will have health. So these are the two traditional social sectors that are managed by our NGOs and our organizations, and also by the bilateral government aid.
Correct.
Education, in particular, I would like to mention that this year we have started a project with the technical colleges.
Okay.
4 technical colleges.
Four technical colleges this year.
This year,
okay.
It will be a 5-year long project to strengthen the technical education in Arusha, Beja, Dar es Salaam, and also in Zanzibar at the Karume Institute of Technology.
Yes.
So this is also the main project that we have. But it builds upon. Inga is one of the largest beneficiary of Italian presence.
Is this the support towards these technical colleges towards rendering or supporting the vision for Tanzania 2025 to have an industrialized nation?
Education is the key.
Yes.
For any possible success in this strategy. We all need, a modern economy needs engineering, but also technicians, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, people who can do any kind of job. Educated workers, even simple workers, must be educated to use machineries. It's not brutal force anymore as in the past. So you need to be able to use an engine or to do something like this. So education is important and is the key driver for any industrialization strategy. And education of different level, I would just want to repeat at the university level, but also the more mundane or more the technical education, which is as important as the theoretical and engineering.
These courses in these technical colleges, as you said, also it's build up to what was already there. Is encompassing the industrial vision for Tanzania. So you're building skills and capacity for Tanzanians to be able to go with the flow.
I would like to say also to point out there is we put also among the sectors that you need also maybe some expert.
Mm-hmm.
Is the protection of the cultural heritage.
Correct.
Because Tanzania is a unique country in sub-Saharan Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You have a very long history of the Swahili culture along the coast, with a huge cultural heritage to protect, and preserve, and to maintain, and also that can be used, presented also to tourists.
Yes.
So I mean, also to have some expert in this field can help the development and also the industrialization of the economy. And it's also to have the technicians can be. I would like also to emphasize the other aspect. A technician can be can be employed by an investor, local or foreign, that need the specific technician, but he may be also the one who starts his own or her own business from scratch, investing his resources, his skills, his interest in business, creating and set up his own business, and this is also one message that can be useful for Tanzania.
Yes. You mentioned earlier Tosa Maganga.
Tosa Maganga is one of the earliest, for sure, after independence. But I mean, there were missionaries also before that.
Yes.
La Consolata fathers came more than 100 years ago. So they started small schools and other agricultural activities.
Okay.
And then, of course, all these things develop in the decades.
Your support, besides Tosa Maganga, do you have any other activities in other hospitals in the country?
This is an hospital that is a state-of-the-art hospital. It's a private hospital, but run by fathers, by the Catholic Church.
Okay.
And but private in the sense that it's not part of the public system, but it's supported also by the government. Private in ownership. But accessible also to people in need. So what I understand, fares are lower than the regular private hospital.
Okay.
And this is very good. And in that case, you have also many doctors coming from Italy.
Okay.
For short stay.
Okay. And bringing expertise, of course.
Bring expertise, yes.
Excellent. Now, Tanzania is primarily an agricultural country. And I'm sure, having that history and, from pre-independence and post-independence, we've been so much promoting agriculture, considering over 60% of labor force is employed in agriculture. What initiatives, and I'm aware of one or two, but we would like to hear it from you, that you have in the agricultural sector?
Well, in the agricultural sectors, maybe we can talk a bit about wine.
Wine.
Because whenever I go to Dodoma,
yes,
I have the luck to know the owner of Setawiko.
Yes.
He's one of the largest, I think the largest wine producer in the country.
Correct.
Who is an Italian who came to Tanzania 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Yes, and took over the Setawiko together with other partners, and developed the wine industry.
Yes.
And also we taste all the time Dodoma wines, which are quite good. And this is some kind of things that an individual can do.
Okay.
A motivated individual, a motivated person can create everything, from even from scratch, and this is the force of individual people, the force of entrepreneurship of business. So I wanted to single out this thing because the creativity of the individual can make a big difference.
Can make a big difference. Absolutely, yes.
And for agriculture, then there are many other small projects in different areas, but they are run by small NGOs across the country.
Yes.
In several parts of the country.
One of the, I would call, most successful projects that is facilitated through the embassy is the facilitation of Tanzanian farmers to go and access markets in Italy. You've been doing that for a number of years.
This is a European policy, European Union policy. So basically, Tanzania can have access to the European Union market without tariffs in as many other African countries. Like 90% of the products are exempt from tariffs and can enter the market.
Okay.
The
European market.
But this is a European. All the trade policy is run by the European Union, by the European Commission.
Okay.
It's not individual. But and you can see that there are several products from Tanzania also in your local supermarket in Rome.
Okay.
Especially fish.
Fish from Tanzania,
fish
all the way. They're still fresh, I believe.
Yes, it's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Yes.
Fresh and good.
Okay.
So I mean, this is the thing that maybe we can add on this. Tanzania has access to the European market, not only to the Italian market. So there is no specific Italian policy on this.
Okay. In terms of attracting, because I believe one of the functions for the embassy is to attract also people to come and invest in Tanzania, and especially in machinery, in the agriculture sector, which is quite receptive as well. Are there any plans in the present or in the future to do so, to support the agricultural sector, or mining, or?
I think that on the agricultural sector, we relied very much on the initiative of small companies and things like this. For instance, in Njombe, the Italian cooperation together with the Catholic Church in Njombe, they created a milk factory.
Okay.
Which is now also producing milk and cheese also for the Dar es Salaam market, also for the Zanzibar market.
Okay.
It's not as big as others, but it's enough. It's big enough.
Yes.
So we rely on a smaller enterprise to do these things. But I think that the main focus on the main requests from Italy is on the energy sector.
The energy sector.
Especially the renewable energy sector.
Have you started any activities on that?
We are supporting all companies coming to Tanzania.
Okay.
So whenever there is a request, we help them to set up meetings.
Okay.
We give them information where to, how to apply for permits or what to do.
Okay.
So this is more like a tailored service that we provide.
One of the factors that promotes investment of tourism in Zanzibar is there a reason why Zanzibar and why hotels in Zanzibar by Italians?
Tourism industry in Zanzibar was created by Italians, from what I understand. The tourism industry in Zanzibar was created around, if I'm not wrong, around the beginning of the 90s.
Okay.
And by few entrepreneurs who were interested to develop new destinations for tourism, especially tropical beaches. I knew people, at least 2-3 people who have been in Zanzibar since the beginning, since the beginning of the first the first hotels. What attracted was not only the beach and the sky and the sea, but also the friendliness of people, and also the beauty of the cultural heritage in Zanzibar. So there was this kind of combination that is not easy to find in this part of the world, that can attract either the normal tourist that likes only beach, but also the tourists who like to have some culture, activities, and something else together with beaches. So this is how it started, maybe around the 90s, and then it developed. Now is together with it, there are also other countries and other hotels and resorts, but I think that we still are the largest investors in the archipelago. I know that there are a couple of projects going on to develop new beaches in the island. So I mean, there is still some inflow of investments coming into the tourism sector. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't see these investors coming also to the mainland, because the mainland has a lot of
potential in the tourism. Absolutely, yes. Youth and women are quite potential in the development. Do you have any programs to support, or do you envisage any program to support youth besides the technical aspect, which of course is geared towards more formal sector rather than informal sector? Yes.
No, we don't have a specific program on this. Of course, I mean, as part of the member of the European Union, we support any kind of activities towards the empowerment of women, and support also any policy from the government, for instance, to support the development of women, for instance, to fighting some kind of discrimination or barbaric practices like FGM. Yes. So we cannot single out a single project on this matter. Yes. Of course, I mean, I can always mention NGOs programs. Okay. For instance, we have here in Dar es Salaam, we have an NGO called COPE from Sicily, and they work a lot with the young people in the Kikwete sport ground. Okay. And the volunteers there spend afternoons with the young boys and girls, making them play hockey or even other games. So in a way to give more opportunity to socialize, also for women to express and to go out to do other things. And they provide also the opportunity to have recreation in a different way, through sports. Okay. And also they allow also disabled children to participate in these activities. Also, there is also this kind of trying to promote the welfare of disabled people.
Besides the youth and the women and the support rendered towards that side, what do you envisage as the role of the private sector in Tanzania towards realizing Millennium Development Goals or Vision 2025 for industrialized Tanzania, development in general?
The issue is that the private sector is essential in any economy, in Europe, in America, in Asia, and in Africa. The private sector provides a more efficient use of resources, financial resources, human resources, and they know better than any other what kind of products are required, what kind of things can be produced or realized in the country. And of course, I mean, well-regulated private sector. A private sector that pay taxes, a fair amount of taxes, and respect regulation. This is what also we need. We all need this kind of things across the world. The private sector is important also because the creativity of people, as I said also before, is what drives the real development of the economy. If we took the lesson of Italy, if we can offer a lesson also to Tanzania.
Yes.
Italy after the war was, the Second World War was a country in ruins, and with a very, even with hungers in certain parts of the country, there was not food enough. But people reacted, and with their individuality, creativity, they set up business and decided we have to feed for ourselves.
Yes.
Which is also something that also your president from time to time says.
Yeah.
People can do a lot by themselves. After the war, there were maybe people were having few money, a small shop, and some of these shops then become a big shop, and then bigger and larger, and then some of these entrepreneurs that started with few money became multinationals.
Yes.
Out of scratch, people with very little education, but with the power and the will to better their life. So when you can harness this kind of energy and creativity from the people, and Tanzanians have energy and creativity.
Yes.
But you have to let the people do this.
Absolutely.
So that's why the private sector must be freed to explore, to try, to also to fail in different sectors, and the people behind the private sector can really make a big change.
Twist a little bit the angle. Post the World War II, that is about like another decade. That's when Tanzania gained its independence, but we're still struggling to be on our feet. Whereas a country like Italy, equally big, it's not a small country, equally big. What are some of the lessons that Tanzania can actually learn in order to, be up on our feet and on the game, per se?
I think that the biggest lesson could be not to be afraid of the rest of the world.
Okay.
And I will tell you why. When the Second World War ended, the whole Europe was distracted.
Yes.
It was distracted by nationalism and fascism. So what happened is that the countries decided to unite themselves, to create a bigger market, to create a bigger playing field where you can access a larger market, a larger number of people. So we put behind the fear of the illusion of nationalism, that you can close yourself behind the border and open up to the world. So the opening up of Europe was the one of the reason of the economic development.
Okay.
And to open up, not to be fear of the other world. I think this is one of the message also that we can give it to you. It is a free advice because it's just history.
Yes.
And you have, for instance, the East African community.
Yes.
So you already have a larger space where you can trade and work. And,
absolutely. We have SADC, we have AU.
And possibly the EU, the Continental Free Trade Area. So this idea of opening up to the world, which you can receive trade, you can do merchandise, investments, and ideas and experience, and just imagine what Tanzania and Kenya can do, for instance.
Yes.
Tanzania and Kenya is like France and Germany in Europe in the 50s, the two rebel countries that decide to stay together, to put in common resources. It's like Kenya and Tanzania and the other East African countries. So just to summarize, the world is yours.
Absolutely.
If you want.
Great advice that is given is to tap onto the economic integration, the regional integration that is there, because it provides, not only the market for the goods amongst countries, but also there's a number of companies that I've visited personally, a few in Iringa, have machinery from Italy. I believe Italy produces one of the best, probably, technology in the world. How does Tanzania benefit from either technical know-how or, you know, the knowledge of the machinery, the best quality machines in the world?
Well, we are delighted that from time to time, quite often, some of Tanzanian companies come to us and can you lead us to provider of machineries in Italy? And we're very happy about that.
Yes.
Because these are export. And yes, I mean, I think that Italy is one of these countries that has moved from producing mass consumer goods like that other countries can produce better and with a cheaper cost. Now we are producing more machineries to produce machines for consumer goods. No? So also that's why we are in a very good position, because anybody will washing machine will be fabricated by China or Korea or Vietnam or other countries, and we can always supply. We can always supply the producer, because the producer will need the machines from Italy. So I mean, Tanzania as well is with the machine. Coming back to Tanzania, with the machine comes also an idea.
Yes.
The idea of how you can produce something or how you can make something. So there is also some experience coming with the machine, something to learn, something to exchange, and also different way of doing the same thing. So, but this is not apply only to Italy, apply maybe to other countries.
Okay. Are the machines cheap? Why do we come to Italy? Because they are durable, best quality, or because they are good priced?
I think that as an ambassador, I would say that are the best quality, the best value for money, and durable and affordable. Yes, I think that the fact that our companies are successful in the world for this is the best proof that our products are very, very good.
Excellent. I would not talk to the ambassador of Italy not to mention wine, Italian wine, and the market, but not only the market, the production, and how can Tanzania tap into. You've mentioned of Setawiko in Dodoma, but how can we now enjoy the knowledge and technology?
Yeah, well, wine is a very competitive industry, and now you have several countries in the world that they can produce a good wine. To test a new variety, to recover also variety that have disappeared, because each territory can produce a different wine.
Is that so?
That's so. So you can produce different kind of wines in different taste, different flavor. So all this kind of it's not only technology, but it's also the passion that you can use, you can put into this wine industry. Trying to develop different kind of wines for different kind of people. The most sophisticated, the most mass oriented product, and to try. I mean, this is maybe the lessons that have been also offered to Tanzania.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you can succeed, because in Africa, of course, this is Tanzania is unique. There are few countries that produce wine.
Yes.
By far, there is still space for newcomers to come. But of course, it's the issue is always to try to better what you have.
Okay.
Try to better, try to find new ways, and because the potential is there.
Okay. The wine festival will be celebrated, commemorated in the first week of November, and one of the objectives is actually to celebrate the brands of Tanzania, and I understand that the intention is also to bring companies from Italy, so that they can, the smallholder farmers in Tanzania can either tap into knowledge, can tap into technology on how to better their products. So I believe this will be a great opportunity for them as well to learn from the Italian wine manufacturers. I would like to basically get a statement from you on industrialization vision of the country, Tanzania, that the current, the fifth regime is really pushing. And I understand you had mentioned your focus towards that has been more towards, developing the human capital. Yeah. And is there a particular reason why you see that key factor is potential, or is very potential towards realizing industrialization vision 2025?
I would say that in a word, invest in people.
Invest in people.
Invest in people. Give trust to people, to their ideas, and to their dreams and to their skills. Mm-hmm. When you think that what a single person can do, imagine if 55 million Tanzania, what they can do.
Absolutely.
You see the energy on the streets of people, and there are potential entrepreneurs everywhere that are ready for a chance to prove themselves. They may lack funds. This is one of the challenges.
Yes.
But the most important thing is education, because if you have the right knowledge, which you don't need a PhD to run a business, but you need some basic knowledge. This is the power of people that really can change your country for the better, and everybody if everybody wants to improve his lot, his fate, and then everybody will be better. This kind of positive rivalry between people, that everybody wants to have a better quality, a better house, better food. But this is positive because it's the driving force for people. And of course, investments, these are from below. That's, of course, the government has to play a role. Mm-hmm. So to give the right incentives for people to set up a legitimate business, to give the freedom to people to run and to expand into different areas. So there is a lot to be done in this country, and but there is no reason why Tanzania cannot succeed. Tanzania has all the power and the possibilities to succeed. So with the right choices, and we also give some praise to this government that is trying its best to create a better condition for business to thrive.
Are there any challenges that you encounter or they encounter towards penetrating the Tanzanian market that probably need to be addressed so that we have more FDIs in Tanzania, especially from Italy?
Apart from Zanzibar and the tourism industry, I think that there is an interest for the energy sector. Mm-hmm. This is clearly, there is interest also for construction from the big infrastructural projects. I don't see for the moment investments in manufacturing. Mm-hmm. I see a couple of examples of joint venture where Italian companies provided the expertise and the technology to a local company.
Okay.
To a local company. Especially, I was at the opening ceremony in Mlandisi of a chlorine factory.
Yes.
That is set up by a local company with the Italian technology.
Okay. If we're looking on to industrialize Tanzania by 2025, the current fifth regime under the leadership of John Pombe Magufuli is promoting we really need to have the rightful capital with the rightful skill to be able to take the rightful job so that we realize industrialize Tanzania. And of course, by that, we will also be promoting agriculture, and through that, Tanzania will one day emerge to become a powerful nation. Thank you very much for joining us on the Monday Agenda.
Very much. Well, a pleasure.